Okay, some more on this little project. I'm going to do, first of all, this this middle leaf, and I am going to mix up some watery Hansa Yellow light and start out up here with some Hansa Yellow light. And as I'm making my way down this shape, I'm going to start mixing in a little bit of Hansa Yellow medium. And this is what one might start to consider calling a graded wash. But we're just making it sort of nice and simple and not worrying about really different colors or really different concentrations. So I have my colors next to each other that I'm going to be blending. And I'll start with, this is the Hansa Yellow, I'll start with a little bit of that. So it looks like I'm already getting some here. I didn't like the way that was looking. I'm not sure if that was me or yeah, that's what I was wanting. A little bit more. That's probably very subtle. But anyways, so I'm going to start in on this one. Just start painting over this whole thing. And as I'm making my way down this shape, similar to, I just grabbed some more water, similar to the rectangles, and that can introduce water up here to make sure it all starts cascading down and mixing with gravity. And let's see, I'm going to grab a little bit of, when I say grab, I say mix. I mean mix a little bit of the yellow, Hansa Yellow medium, and just start painting in with that, dropping that in. And now I'm going with just some of the medium, making sure I remember where the heck my shape is. I want this to, this is going to be okay. It'll be okay, really, it'll be okay. I wanted to refine that shape a little wider, but I wasn't sure if that had dried too much so that it wouldn't blend when I introduced something else. So there's a very subtle gradation for that shape, that leaf, and I'm sure I'll come back and do plenty of other things in plenty of areas, and I may sort of enhance that effect for that, or I may not. See how it goes. I am gonna shift to my number 6 of the Casaneo and try to do a couple smaller things here. I want to make sure that anything I do paint is not share an edge with that shape that I just painted and is wet. Let's see. Maybe I'll sort of start strengthening these a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna sort of refine this shape, starting with, yeah, kind of in a similar fashion, starting with a little bit of Hansa Yellow light and then mixing in some Hansa Yellow medium. Once again, a really subtle shift. I'm going to shift down here now, and I'm going to start a little bit different. I'm going to start with a little bit of the Hansa Yellow Medium. You know what? I have a feeling. Do you see how I'm mixing this? It's a great example of getting yourself in trouble because you did not clean your brush. So I'm sure there's blue left over. That's pretty obvious at this point. Blue left over in this brush. I'm sort of hoping not much of it came out there and it was sort of hiding back here and eventually woke up and started mixing in with the yellow to make this green, which I don't want. It's a nice green, but it's not what I want right now. So what I'm going to do, it's a little impromptu, I'm going to just see if I can really kind of get all the blue out of there, hopefully. And I'm squeezing clear water, which is pretty clear water. I'm squeezing it straight out of my brush, and usually if there's a little bit of color left, you'll be able to see it when you do that sort of thing. So let's see, back to where I was at. It was a nice little sidebar, all for one low, low price. It doesn't look too green in here, but that's not even the color I wanted. I wanted to go Hansa Yellow Medium. That's what I wanted. And I'm thinking to myself, does that look at all green? Like, does it seem like there's still some color sneaking in that I don't want to be sneaking in? It's possible there's a little. If I wasn't in the middle of recording something, I'd probably go wash this brush with a little bit of actual dish soap, gentle dish soap. But right now I'm going to get back to this thing that I was sort of playing with, and that is over here. I'm going to start with some Hansa Yellow Medium and this shape. I'm going to start mixing in a little bit of the deep. And learning how to do two color graded washes is juggling a lot. So go really easy on yourself. As I like to say, because it's not really two colors, it's three colors. Because anytime you are using more or less water, that means that's the same as adding some sort of amount of white. So that's kind of fun. I think I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going sort of random right now, I realize, but I think I'm going to go back to the actual just swatch study. And I'm going to try to mix up the Hansa Yellow Deep to a pretty darn concentrated little puddle there. And I'm going to come back in. I'm going to try to not put my hand in the shape that I just painted. I might be able to use my number 8 brush for this, but I'm just trying this smaller one. Still not convinced there's the tiniest bit of blue left in my brush. So that looks fine to me. That looks fine. It seems like it's subtly graying out there, just enough that it's gonna inspire me to show you sort of how to do an undo with watercolor. Really, this is sort of the closest thing to undo I can think of, but just to get a big enough paper towel, press down in the area you just painted, and lift up. So I'm going to pause there. Let's go make sure this brush is clean, but that was kind of fun to at least show you a couple things there. And I'll be back soon.